Hello, my name is Jillian and this is my first ever attempt at a reading journal. I read quite frequently, but not at the speed of some other YouTubers on here. I mostly read fantasy and YA, and ultimately I just wanted an outlet and a way to document all the stories I consume. I absolutely adore watching people set up their journals. I find it quite calming. So, let's get started. That is me waving. It truly surprised me how much prep I put into this reading journal. I even drafted spreads on a separate journal before I committed them to the page, as you can see. I really just wanted everything to be perfect. From all the YouTube videos and Insta posts that I saw, our journal are the go-to journals, so I bought the 8x8 and I believe it's called the North Star. My inspiration for the front spread was a mystical and magical forest, scattered with some mountain ranges. I wanted to encapsulate a place where I found peace and comfort. To take a corner of this big world and put it into this compact journal that I can keep for myself. So there I was, ripping up some brown parchment paper, trying to mimic the sky and some mountain ranges. I also added some pine trees. I really like the idea of a dark forest, it being so serene, so quiet. I added this washi tape for texture. And then I soon realized that you don't need to cut it, you can just rip it, which proves to be a more beautiful effect. And I bought these stamps off Etsy. They're so beautiful. I will link everything in the description below where I got it from. I found this stick-on stamp that I've placed on a Ferrero Rocher lid on Facebook Marketplace, and I just found it so vintage and so beautiful. My favorite piece of stationery that I own is this little raven stamp. My favorite bird or animal is a raven. I just find them so smart, such fascinating creatures. And they're a little reminiscent of my favourite book series, The Raven Boys, and my favourite TV show, One Tree Hill. So here I am, just adding more stamps and other details just because the page looked a bit barren. The second spread was a combination of my mystical forest theme and just a myriad of stamp stickers and bits and bobs. I have no clue how other journal YouTubers keep all their little things on their desk to make it look pretty. Mine keep rolling off and I have to keep putting them back on. It's quite annoying. Right here, I'm just putting a piece of cardboard behind the paper. I just wanted to chop off the edge, give the book a bit of spice. I did a light grey wash on this piece of paper off camera to kind of represent a grey sky. This moon cutout was just from a scrapbooking paper pack that I got from Spotlight. And if you didn't know already, I am Australian, so that store might not be available to you. here I am just trying to figure out placement. There's a lot of rearranging and fiddling in journaling. It's fun, but a little pedantic. But I like it. So here I am just writing Jillian's reading journal. I'm eternally jealous of people who can write beautifully, who know calligraphy. I just am not that person. And here we continue on with the pine tree motif. I used 3 different colors just to create a bit more depth, and I think it turned out really well. And of course, I just needed to add my little raven stamp. There really was no rhyme or reason for this other page, other than what I found appealing. This page is dedicated to a quote from Dune, and I'm drawing this illustration of a brain, which I thought would turn out a bit better, but it didn't, but that's fine. I'm currently reading Dune, and I found this quote appropriate for 2022. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. And when it is gone, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. Where the fear has gone, there will be nothing. Only I will remain. After wanting to do something with reading and journaling for so long, years of university and now a full-time job, I think I realized it was time to put my fear aside and commit. Reading and journaling kept my brain occupied and stimulated during this current climate. And I think it's worth putting my time and effort into it. I added this little sticker stamp along the border as I thought it was just pretty. Again, no rhyme or reason, just wanted to fill up the page. For my next page, I hadn't really seen anyone do this type of spread. I just wanted to have a spot where I could be quite honest and reflect back on at the end of the year. So I created this little envelope to pop a letter to myself to read that has my goals, how I felt at the moment, just anything that was on my mind during the time. My next task was to make sure that this stamp was in line so it could be seen through the page before and it didn't look a bit wonky. And here's where I noticed that the stamp color does not match that little box, so I've changed it. And I've titled it "A Letter to Your Future Self." Here's where I add this little plant detail. It's this cute little flower. I thought it would be perfect to symbolize the page of growth and life. Ending this page off by writing down the year, 2022. How absolutely crazy. This was hands down my favorite spread to make. This is basically going to be my bookshelf where I put the names of every book I read in 2022. But I kind of wanted to funk it up, so I made these little doors that you can open up. What I'm doing here is just scoring the edge of the paper so the page will fold out a bit more cleanly. And here they are both completed. Time to do the inside. I originally saw this bookshelf concept from Journal with Chloe, so shout out to her, fellow Australian. I definitely did not count how many books I put on this shelf, and I highly doubt that I will complete all of them, but it looks so pretty. I was also racking my brain of what to put inside the wardrobe bookshelf thing that I made. So I thought about putting a picture frame, a skull, little jars and bottles, and a teacup, apparently. add a little more depth into the wardrobe bookshelf, I decided to make the background grey, black, just to add some dimension. And I think it turned out so cool. Here I am just doing some finer details on the bookshelves, putting some grains in the wood. I couldn't leave the doors bare, so I just added these stamps, just like you would see on those quite old furniture. Just like the little intricate details that craftsmen back in the day used to do. At this point, I was definitely regretting it because it looked ugly, but trust the process. To go along with this antique wardrobe, I thought this kind of stripe pattern wallpaper would look very appropriate for the spread. I decided to dedicate this spread to my goals and my statistics for the year. Again, this paper card is from Spotlight from Scrap Pack. It was such a great find because it fit my aesthetic and my theme so well. So here I am just laying down some more washi tape just to make things a bit more prettier. So my goal for this year is to read 25 books. I know it's not a lot, but I do have a full-time job, and I think 25 is a good number since I read about 20 books this year. In 2021, sorry. This little table that I'm drawing up is basically just a list of genres that I wish to read and kind of wanting to tally off each month, just to see the overview. In the list I have fantasy, classic, manga, non-fiction, fiction, young adult, sci-fi, and miscellaneous. The last table I'm drawing up basically is all the months of the year and the type of medium that I consume, which is either physical, audio, ebook, or article. I'm honestly not a really big fan of audiobooks, but I think I'm going to make it a priority in 2022. I definitely think I can boost my reading goal if I just listen to more books. I don't think I'm going to put strict goals for myself this year. I just want to take it easy, read as many books as I can of different genres, and if I hit X amount of books, I'll just be happy with it. Finally, the last spread. This is basically where I'm going to put all the book covers of all the books I read in 2022 and a 5-star rating. I've seen plenty of book YouTubers do this and I'm incredibly excited because they always look so freaking good. Here's where I make a massive boo-boo. There was ink on the side of my hand and it smudged everywhere, and I didn't have whiteout, but I tried to remove it with just a white pen, but it's going to be covered anyway, so I'm not that fussed. So here it is in its entirety. I hope you enjoyed my first ever reading journal setup, and I hope to see you guys soon.